Hello and welcome to HBM's Crypto-Corner for Wednesday, June 14th, 2023. We have a few things to talk about, so let's get started. First of all, Oklahoma man murders fellow fisherman because of Bigfoot. He claims the man was going to send the cryptid to kill him. We generally think exploring the potential for the existence of cryptids like Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster is nothing more than harmless curiosities, but for some, these interests are dead serious. I have to refresh this page. Hang on.
Crime story for y'all today. Now, this murder story happens between two best friends in Ada, Oklahoma one afternoon while noodling for catfish. Now, if you don't know what noodling is, you're probably not from Oklahoma. I'm an Oklahoma woman myself, so I'm very familiar with the term. Noodling is basically where you get down into a river or a lake and you catch catfish barehanded. And so our story begins with two best friends named Larry Sanders and Jimmy Knighton, and they were out in the South Canadian River near Ada, Oklahoma, noodling for catfish, when all of a sudden Jimmy starts teasing Larry, saying that he was going to summon Bigfoot to eat him. And that sounds innocent enough, right? Teasing between two best friends, but let me tell you something. Down here in the South, we have our own Bigfoot myths and legends that will put chill bumps on your arms, and I've personally had friends that have told me some crazy tales about hearing and even seeing Bigfoot on their property. And apparently Larry was among those who did not find this threat funny. Jimmy kind of kept on about this and kept teasing this threat, and Jimmy even started backing away from Larry, which Larry interpreted as that Jimmy was getting ready to leave him so that he could be alone and be eaten by Bigfoot. So Larry, not finding any of this funny at all, attacks Jimmy, and they go onto the ground and they're wrestling and they're fighting for a good while. Jimmy's trying to get away from Larry, and it's becoming very apparent that Larry is not playing around. Larry begins beating Jimmy with a stick and starts strangling him, and this is all of a sudden no longer two best friends teasing and playing about Bigfoot. Ultimately, Larry wins the struggle, beats and strangles Jimmy to death, and then runs back home to tell his daughter what had happened. And after he had confessed to his daughter that he had choked his friend Jimmy to death, police and detectives were obviously called. They went and combed the area. It was a very thick, wooded area. It was really hard for them to find Jimmy's body, but ultimately they did, and Larry was charged with first-degree murder. It's also suspected that Larry was under the influence of methamphetamine when the crime was committed, which would definitely have lent to Larry not finding the threat of Bigfoot funny. Y'all, I'm a recording artist trying to get a record deal. If you love these stories, please hit the follow button. Help me get to that 1,000,000 mark, and I will be telling more stories very soon. Cheers.
Okay, this is crazy. In what may be the second known case of someone attempting murder based on a steadfast belief in a cryptid, an Oklahoma man has confessed to the 2022 strangling death of a former friend while out on a fishing trip, explaining that he attacked because the dead man was threatening him with Bigfoot. and the guy may have been under the influence. In 2014, a pair of Wisconsin 12-year-olds stabbed a third child due to a belief that they were performing a sacrifice for the internet cryptid known as Slender Man. This horrific act, for which both teens were eventually sentenced to decades of institutionalization in mental hospitals, set off a moral panic about the effect urban legends about monsters were having on the nation's youth. But this type of violence is not new. Probably the most dangerous things about cryptids are humans. That's true. I think humans are more dangerous than cryptids themselves. This is just a crazy story. This is nuts. I mean, geez. Killing somebody because they threatened to sick Bigfoot on you as a joke? It's crazy. Speaking of crazy, apparently Melba Ketchum is back. Oh Lord, here we go. Sasquatch Genome Project releases new videos of alleged Bigfoot. A group of Bigfoot researchers out of Texas have released what they claim is proof the legendary cryptid exists, and have released allegedly never-before-seen video clips that show what does seem to be Bigfoot creatures. They spent 5 years and $500,000 to reach this conclusion.
News out of Texas, Bigfoot is real. According to a group of researchers, they call themselves the Sasquatch Genome Project, and they released what they say is proof. Several never-before-seen short video clips of the legendary and very shy creature. The group spent 5 years and $500,000 coming to this conclusion. One clip is of Sasquatch sleeping, shot during the day in Kentucky back in 2005.
We've all had experiences that have changed our lives. I mean, literally shook the foundations of what we believe in.
Besides the video, they say they also have DNA proof of Bigfoot's existence. One of the researchers stressed that their work has been a, quote, serious study.
Those videos are 10 years old. I remember seeing this report back in 2013. In addition to video evidence, that's what they just got through saying. I'm not going to... Interestingly, they aren't keeping the information hidden either and have made it available online and for peer review. Sasquatch Genome Project's dedication to openly sharing their findings and subjecting them to scientific scrutiny marks a significant step towards bridging the gap between mainstream science and the realm of cryptozoology. As few reputable scientists are willing to say the realms of the paranormal, supernatural, or cryptids. This is fundamentally frustrating when there are solid indications something needs further study, but due to the subject matter it becomes dismissed and goes unstudied. Well, Melba Ketchum had confirmation bias going into her study. Read Haskell Hart's book about her study. It'll tell you all about it. This failure to investigate plausible claims led to the giant squid being classified as cryptid until the early aught years, despite centuries of evidence and sightings. This aura of the absurd is also blamed for the failure to discover an archaeological site for the lost city of Atlantis, which many believe is located counterintuitively in the Saharan desert. While there are several excavations that have claimed the title of Atlantis, none have convincingly lived up to the basic descriptions given by historical accounts that portray it as a real location rather than a mythological city or allegory. Well, at least nobody made outrageous claims about Atlantis. Well, maybe they did, I don't know. But Melba Ketchum has made so many outrageous claims about her DNA study, it's hard to take her seriously. Like I said, she had confirmation bias going into it. And she just immediately believed everything she was putting out there. I mean, it's just It boggles the mind how people can actually believe in Melba Ketchum. And she's out there again trying to get support for her more ridiculous studies. And that's good there for this week. When I think you're interested, again, you guys are at the heart of the show. I always say that, but I always mean it. I'll continue to do this as long as you guys want me to. And hey, until 2 weeks from now, unless there's breaking news, y'all be good or be good at it. This is May-HBM Cryptid-Corner.